Concerns real bad right now.
Here they come. Here they all come. Oh my gosh.
Guidelines.
From the first check.
We can start anyway. Supposed to.
I know.
Oh, yeah, we divided between four states. But then leave. We can.
All four.
We need it.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee,
To thee, Texas,
one
one
state,
state,
under
under
God,
God, one and indivisible.
Public testimony. Anybody not on the agenda may appear before the court at this time.
Robert, why do we have a feedback?
We have,
There's an echo.
Commissioner, we have an echo.
There's an echo.
We have several representatives or organizations here to speak on requesting funds. So that would be agenda item 1. And then we'll move on into discussing the budget after we hear from those that are here, if that's okay.
Yes. Did they turn in a paper? Did they have to turn in a paper? What was that?
No, this is public testimony. They're not,
We used to, we had started doing that.
yeah, if you're gonna speak on a line item.
Good
Yes, sir.
afternoon.
Can you state your name and
My name is Ernest Henderson. I'm with the Orange Grove Area Museum in Orange Grove, Texas. And I'm here this afternoon to request some funding from the American Rescue Plan Act. As I understand that there is consideration for those funds at this time. Is that correct?
Yes.
yes, but this is public testimony. We're probably gonna get to that line item in a little bit. On line item 4, that's when they, we're not there yet. Let me go ahead and go to that item.
But it's still public. He has 3 minutes.
Yeah, okay. Okay, here presentation from the ARPA funding requests. That would be her first, and then how do you want to handle this?
Well, because we do have people here in the audience that are requesting funds,
Okay.
I thought we'd go ahead and hear from them first.
Okay,
And any decisions the commissioners can wait till
okay,
after
we'll go
everyone.
to line item number 5 then.
Yes, sir.
Okay, discuss, consider, take action on receptions, funding requests, and budget recommendations for the appropriation of the American Rescue Plan. Okay, funds, okay.
Number
Now we
4.
can, now we can go ahead, sir.
It's in the,
Okay, am I in order now?
here, ARPA, number 4.
So I appreciate the opportunity to get to visit and to get to visit with you all this afternoon. I do represent the Orange Grove Area Museum. It was established in 1999. It's located in downtown Orange Grove. We are a 501c3 nonprofit, and the purpose of our museum is to preserve the history of our local area and also to promote community involvement in our community of Orange Grove. And our our museum was impacted greatly by the pandemic. We didn't close during the pandemic, but all of our activities stopped. And our visitors were drastically reduced. And that includes, donations and the ways that we make money for operating to keep our museum open as well. Our operating budget was hugely impacted. And, we suffered a 1-2 punch this spring. Just as we were coming out of the pandemic, we had our Pioneer Days celebration for the first time after a 2-year absence. And a week after the Pioneer Days celebration, after coming out of coronavirus pandemic, we had a devastating fire on Easter Sunday morning, April 17th, 2022. And half of our museum and the contents in the museum were destroyed by that fire. If you don't know, our museum in Orange Grove, it consisted of 2 storefronts in downtown Orange Grove, 2 separate but adjoining storefronts. The one on the corner was the old filling station or gas station. The original pumps were still out in front, and that's the part that burned. Next door, the other half of the museum was an old cafe. It still has those oval windows that, lay sideways, that was indicative of cafes back in the 50s and the 60s. And I probably went a week thinking that side had also burned. But once we were cleared to go in, all of the contents on that side were safe. And for that, we're very thankful. But our museum is still closed because the roof was damaged, and there's no electricity in there either. And so, we were thankful to the Orange Grove Volunteer Fire Department and to the Alice Fire Department, 5 other departments that came that day. They saved half of our museum, and quite frankly, they saved the whole block in downtown Orange Grove that could have gone up in flames that day.
So today you're here requesting funds for the museum.
I am.
Okay, you're gonna fall in the nonprofit category, and
Yes,
I
sir.
think Mrs. Moran will probably be talking to you and hear your request.
Okay. And we are, requesting money for a new roof. We have estimates, 2 estimates, one for $38,000, one for $44,000 for a new roof. And we need that new roof before we can open back up. And with us being closed, it impacts all of downtown because we had events there that brought people in to downtown, and then they went to the other downtown businesses as well. And so our museum being closed has a difficult economic impact, a negative economic impact on Orange Grove, on downtown, and on our community. And so we are requesting $40,000 for a new roof for the part of the museum that is still there, so that we can open back up and begin to, again, be a hub for activities in downtown Orange Grove.
I think we'll be considering your request. Mrs. Moran, do you want to speak on this, on these requests? Because,
Yeah, I didn't know which order, if you wanted to
well,
hear
because,
from the nonprofits first, and
yeah,
then I do have.
that's
in
where
your
I'm confused,
packet-
because you have here ARPA funding requests. So.
Yes, those are the presentations.
Okay.
And just, I had some nonprofits and other organizations that reached out that wanted to come and do a short presentation to you all. This is not for you all to make decisions.
No,
at
no,
this
we're not
time.
gonna make decisions, but you're gonna need something from them in writing or.
Yes, I'm gonna cover that after we hear from
Well,
all
that-
of them.
that-
I've got in your
Okay,
packet.
I'd like to hear from you first.
Okay, that's
Because then we'll give the people that are gonna request 3 minutes or whatever
Okay.
amount of time we want to give them, so you can write it down or whatever you need to do.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and introduce the draft that I have here. You should have it in your file folders.
Okay,
It's a draft of the application and the criteria we're gonna use for the nonprofits, and I can speak to that. That way they have an
so they can
understanding.
have an idea of what, of your,
The process.
yes, right, your
Okay,
procedures.
And without it, if there's no questions, I'm through, and we appreciate your consideration of our request.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Anderson.
Yeah, we will consider it. We just got off on the wrong foot, but I think we need to hear from the Moran, and then we'll.
And I understand what Mr. Garcia is saying, because I was under the impression that we're gonna fund a certain amount of dollars to the nonprofits, and then they're gonna apply through an application and then
that's
get
what I'm
approved through them.
gonna, that's what
I
I'm
don't have a
gonna
problem them making a presentation, it's awesome, but
That's why I want to hear from Ms.
can't make a
Moran first,
decision right now.
so they can know the procedures.
Sure, and I'll be visiting with them individually as.
Right.
Okay, so in your packet, you have this document. This is a draft. It's called the Jim Wells County Nonprofit Partnership Grant Program for the FY 2021 American Rescue Plan Act, or ARPA. And I'm not going to go through the whole thing. I'm just going to point out some of the things that,
Robert, do we have it on the screen? You didn't download it? No.
I have it on mine, if you want me to bring it up.
Yes, if you can, that way everybody can see it.
So what I did, commissioners, is I looked at other communities that have set up a funding for nonprofit organizations, and they have set up an application process that includes the criteria and selection. Again, this would fall under the category of negative economic impact. See that? And so that's what they would be applying under. That's the category we would be looking at. And the types of entities that could apply would be the nonprofit organizations that were impacted mostly by the pandemic, organizations that address a critical need within our community, such as emergency food assistance, long-term housing, emergency shelter, technology, childcare, youth empowerment, transportation, employment services, and healthcare services. All of those are eligible categories under the negative economic impact. Jim Wells County's eligibility criteria would be: one, they must be a nonprofit. They're going to have to show documentation that they are in good standing, that they are incorporated and have bylaws. They have to show, if they're going to request lost revenue, they're going to have to show as an IRS form, and we've listed those forms. And then, of course, documentation of any existing services that they have. So, like, for example, if they want to serve meals for the elderly, or food assistance, they would have to show us that that's the type of services that they provide. Now, this list is not all inclusive. The commissioners can add additional criteria to that. Programs and services focused on COVID-19 response and prevention. Other eligible uses are operational expenses and equipment, capital improvements, and any other approved county defined priorities. So again, this is a draft. The typical project types is you have economic development, emergency food assistance, public health, mental health. These are all projects that nonprofits, provide a service in. After school programs, programs for kids, family violence and child abuse prevention services and support for victims, technology access, residential assistance programs for seniors. For example, if you wanted to help with a utility bill for seniors, that would be a program under the negative economic impact. Job training and placement, shelter prevention and homelessness. Again, these are the typical project types that you find nonprofits provide services in. What kind of information are we going to need from them? We're going to need documentation that they are a nonprofit status, an IRS Form 990, 2019 or 2020. A nonprofit organization should be providing these to the IRS. So we would request some proof of documentation. We'll need a W-9 from them for any payments that we make. Documentation of the number of clients that they will be serving. The application will also contain a proposal form and a scope of summary of what they plan to do with these funds. A budget will need to be submitted. And of course, tell us what objectives or measurable outcomes they expect to achieve. And then they must be in compliance at the end when we close out those programs. They're going to submit a signed application, a brief narrative of what they're requesting, a budget, and that will be submitted to me. So I will be looking at those. And then part of the application information here is the application, the budget form. We're going to do a budget workshop for the nonprofits so that they all hear the same thing on how to submit their application. And we possibly will have it recorded for those that can't attend on Zoom or otherwise. So I will be holding an application information presentation to the nonprofits. And then if you look at the last page here, I have listed some activities that will schedule timeline. For example, commissioners would like to start the application, make it available October 1. We'll have an application workshop. We will hold, we'll need a deadline. You know, if you want a 30-day deadline for them, or you want to give them 90 days, that would, you know, those are something, things that you can consider. The staff will review the applications and we'll sit with them and have a Q&A with them. Application ranking and funding recommendations by a county committee. We will establish a county committee and have them ranked. And we'll hold a public hearing before the commissioners meeting for any funding recommendations that are made from the funding committee. And then we will have the approval of the grant program awards, and then we'll make those funds available to the nonprofits. So this is just a real brief, quick summary. Of course, we need to go back and plug in dates and make any changes that y'all would like or add anything in there. But that's basically going to be the process. We will have this available on the county's website, and also anyone that requests it can email me or call me and we will send them this. Again, this is a work in progress, but as I'm speaking to some of the nonprofits that have reached out to me, basically this is how I've explained the process. Any questions on this?
I don't have any questions. I guess we can start hearing from the.
Okay.
And if you have anything, you know, you need something from them, be sure and let them know. That way we can get on the same page.
Sure.
So they have 3 minutes.
I don't want to put a timeline. When 3 minutes are up, I'll let you speak. You know, you'll probably hear a little buzz, and we'll let you speak for another 30 seconds or so.
So just to let you know, there are some nonprofits here, and then there's some that are asking for ARPA funds. So it's going to be a mix. It's not strictly just for the nonprofits.
Okay. Just let us know what they're requesting when they're.
I believe that they will when they come up. So who wants to be next? Mr. Dobowski, you want to go?
Okay, go ahead and start it.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rick Del Bosque, and I'm with the Boys and Girls Club. And I'll be quick and brief, but just wanted to go over a synopsis and just go over our mission statement, what Boys and Girls Clubs does, and what we're doing, and where we are, and where we're going. Boys and Girls Club was established in 1962 in June, and of course, our mission statement is to enable all young people, especially those who we need most, to reach their full potential as productive, caring, and responsible citizens. I'm gonna be real quick with you. How many kids attend the club? Well, during the school year, right now, we have about 125 to 150 kids. In the summertime, over 180 kids that come to the club. We also work in conjunction with the Atlas Independent School District, and we work with their ACE program, so that's an additional 30 kids a day once the ACE starts, and it'll start next week. Programs that we offer, following page, we offer a technology lab, we offer a program Youth for Unity, Smart Moves is where y'all have helped us in the past with the Smart Moves. We have Smart Girls, Passport to Manhood. These are National Boys and Girls Clubs programs. We also have a Valero Fun and Fitness Center, and that Valero Fun and Fitness Center, what it is, we just got a grant from them about 8 months ago. And actually what it is a technology games where they're running in plays and they're doing dance pads and things of that sort. And what the thing is, we're tracking so many kids, and we're tracking their height, their weight, their BMI, their blood pressure, and we want to see what happens. They have to do it at least 3 times a week. And in 6 months, we want to see if that's helping them. So that's a fitness for them that we're doing. Of course, our arts and crafts and money matters, teaching the youngsters about budgeting and so forth. Following page, these are just a real quick picture. That's the Valero Fun and Fitness pictures that we have there. Following page, the arts and crafts that the children do. We have the technology lab as well. The games room. And these are our sports programs, and we have our granddaddy, which is our basketball program, the Little Dribblers, and in that we service over 900 kids from various counties. 2 seasons of sports, over 800 kids that play in our soccer programs. Our T-ball, over 250 3- and 4-year-olds and 5- and 6s. Girls coach pitch, 80 kids. Pee-wee baseball, 120 kids. And our volleyball, over 260 girls. So in all, we service over 2,400 kids in those programs. There's the following page, you have pictures of the volleyball program and the counties that we serve. Kids that get involved in our counties, of course, are Jim Wells kids, Duval, Jim Hogg, Brooks, and Oasis. So all of these kids get involved with the Boys and Girls Club. The cities that are involved: Alice, Banquete, Agua Dulce, San Diego, Freer, Hebbronville, Benbow, Palito Blanco, Fremont, Falfurrias, Orange Grove, and Benavides. And the thing about this, what's interesting about it, like we serve in Oasis, so when Banquete comes in place here, they spend their monies here in Jim Wells County.
Your 3 minutes are up.
Okay, I'll go real quick.
And I can see where,
So just the page after that, Mr. Garcia, just the wish list, because if you know, we're just purchasing the Memorial School. And so one of the things that we're looking for is an ice machine, metal picnic tables for the kids after the games, wall paddings for the gym, lights for our soccer fields, and irrigation system, sidewalks, and bleachers, and a golf cart to move around the field. So that's basically what I have. The rest are just pictures of what we're looking for.
you did a real good job, Ricky, with a budget.
Yes, sir.
It's probably pretty much what we need, you know. So I think, I don't know, if you know, we can't promise what we're gonna give, but
I understand.
the budget, you did address the budget.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Ricky.
Do we have any other nonprofits that are here to speak? If not, we can move on to any of the businesses that are here or other entities that would like to come forward. Melody, you want to come forward? Okay.
Selma Aguirre, she's my senior
Okay.
appraiser, and she's been doing the research on this. I've been working on tax rate calculations for all the entities, so I asked her to do some research for me, and she's gonna make the presentation on the research she's done. We're trying to get funds to be able to upgrade our software for our appraisal and collection programs, but she will explain that. Esther, my administrative assistant, has been assisting as well.
Good afternoon. Very briefly, basically, we are a Jomos County Appraisal District. All of you are familiar with us. We do assessment and collections for all the entities, well, 13 entities within Jomos County. We do the collections for. Other than that, we do the appraisal for 100% of the county parcels. That's including rural, business, personal property, commercial, residential. Our biggest need that we have right now is a new software.
I know he mentioned your name, but could you repeat it so that they can hear?
Anselma Aguirre. Thank you, ma'am. So our biggest need, what we're in need of right now is a new software, an updated software, so that we can make our office more efficient, more effective. I did come from a larger appraisal district where I have had use or experience with one of the software groups. So I did give you 2 proposals. True Prodigy and Spindle Media would be appraisal and collections together. And then True Automations, they do all appraisal and collections. So although they are high, we have not updated our software since 1994. That's over 20 years with the software that we have. We need to move forward so that we can do more also for open records requests that we get from any of our taxing entities, as well as the public, of course, our property owners. And also this would help in assisting the current staff that we have. We're minimal, 15, 16. I only have 4 appraisers and myself. I still go out to the field. However, if we had newer technology, a better software, we could possibly eliminate maybe 1 or 2 clerical positions, because in my experience in using one of these softwares, the appraisers were able to do a lot of the data entry very easily. So that would eliminate maybe something there. So Esther De Leon, the admin assistant, she is going to be working on the budget. Anything we would appreciate. We are giving you the proposals. They do look a little excessive. However, just keep in mind, we haven't had new software in over 20 years. And anything would be appreciated. It's not like we're asking for the full amount. We're just asking if you could please help us. And I know that this is coming from the county. However, the majority of the value, if we pick up value in Orange Grove, if we pick up value in Fremont and in Alice, the county gets all that value. To where if Orange Grove, when we pick up value there, that's where it stays, with the city and the school, or just the school. But any values that we pick up for all the other taxing entities are part of the values that we generate for Jomos County total. I know this is quick, but I wanted to get everything in. If y'all have any questions.
It seems like you created a budget that's probably Ms. Moran can chew on it.
She can look at it. But again, we see it as an investment for the future. I know I've already been in over 35 years in this business, and I know that I'm looking forward to a retirement. However, we have newer and younger staff. So I want to leave this, that's the impression that I want to make from them hiring me, coming in from web, to be able to leave this technology behind, leave something more efficient, more effective for them. So it is a huge investment for the future of all the entities in Jomos County.
It's
And we
appreciated.
thank you for your time
Thank you.
and your consideration.
Just a little FYI, the software company that we have right now, just for y'all to know, there's 254 counties. We are the only one that has that software. Nobody else uses them because they're really outdated. So we really do have a very outdated support system that we have right now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I just kind of have a question on this. Are you all asking for the total startup cost? The 274?
We're asking for anything. However, when you integrate into a new software, they have to do a conversion. when they do the conversion from an old software to a new one, it does have a startup cost. So that's the initial part of it, and the largest part of it is the startup cost. After that, we just have a yearly maintenance fee.
Is that something that you all would consider absorbing? The
Absolutely.
the
Oh, we'll
maintenance
absorb
costs?
anything after y'all. I mean, we're here humbly asking just for some funds, just for some help to get this started. Yes, absolutely.
Mr. Flores, did you want to come speak, sir?
No, I just, I represent Jim Ward First Water District in Bembo. Thank you, ma'am. My name's Octavio Flores. I'm the general manager in the Jim Ward First Water District in Bembo. And I just came to see, but we do need finances too. I have been talking to our commissioner, and so that's where we're at. I do need to fix my infrastructure. And anything we need, I got audits, I got the budgets, whatever we need. That's all I need. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Flores.
Thank you, Mr. Flores. At some point, he'll give you a budget. Good.
Yeah, and on this one would probably be direct, either ARPA funds or maybe be considered into the general budget for Jim Wells County. If we couldn't fit this into ARPA funds, maybe something that the commissioners want to consider is maybe as you're doing your general fund budgeting.
Could it be a grant through the infrastructure?
For Mr. Flores's, yes, for infrastructure, I'm not, to be honest with you, I'm not real sure if ARPA would cover the Jim Wells County Appraisal District. That's something I'm gonna have to do some research, but I would ask you all to consider it maybe in the general budget, if it's something as you're doing your budget. But I will certainly look into see, they don't fall under the nonprofit thing, it would be. So I that's something we'd have to look at.
Well, we'll look into it, and maybe the infrastructure
Yeah,
that's
the
coming down the pipe, maybe.
Yeah, now for Mr. Flores, that would be under the category infrastructure, sewer, water, or broadband.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think he'll fall into something at some point.
The other one
I
is,
know that we're
remember
working
how we
on-
have 6 categories, and I'm trying to see which category we could fit Jim Wells County Appraisal District with their requests.
Okay, thank you.
Now, I believe that covers everyone. I think we have some departments here. I think Carol might be, that we need to hear from. If we're ready to move into the departments. Did we get everyone that wanted to speak, ma'am? Did you want to speak? Okay. I think that covers the public, and now we have department requests. I have 3 that I gave you all a copy of.
This is besides what they requested before, or?
These are
Yes.
departments that didn't request the first
Okay.
meeting that we had.
Okay,
And then Carol has also a request.
Carol Salinas with the 79th District Court. I'm here, I'd like to make a proposal, I believe y'all got a copy of it. We would like additional funding from the American Rescue Plan Act for our office. We're asking for 4 of the desktops with 24-inch monitors. This would be a complete upgrade to our system. Basically, I did only get 1 quote as far as IT, since this comes from Dell Computers. So that's basically it. We have not had any upgrades to our computers in years, and we would really like that.
I think Robert's gonna be handling the,
Yes, I've attached the whole quote to the paperwork I submitted.
he'll get the quotes, and I think he'll even order them for you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Alrighty, that's it. Thank you.
So in your packet, there's three also department requests that were made. And I will go over the first one.
They're not here.
Do you have them?
No, the people are not, the departments are not here.
They might be on Zoom.
J.C.
I know.
Pettis on there.
Yeah, no, the ones that I have. Yeah, we have Justice of the Peace, Ms. Canali. And if you look at your budget sheet here, this one. And then you have a proposal from her in your packet. So we've included her. She would be asking for, let's see, she's asking for a computer and an iPad for a total cost of $1,639. And she's attached her bids that she searched.
I think on these, we can actually make a motion to approve it.
Okay.
So do I entertain a motion? Even on the District
Make a motion to
79?
approve the District 79.
Do you want to go over any of these? I have two more
Let's
left.
just approve them as we go.
Okay. So Ms. Carroll, could we add her amount that she's asking for the 79th district?
It's 5,000.
There's a motion on the District 79.
I'll second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
Okay, so
We have the.
I have two more to go,
Okay,
and then we're done
well, we're
with
gonna
them.
have to vote on them individually, I guess.
Okay. So the next one would be Jim Wells County Precinct 4. They are asking for also,
Excuse me, that shouldn't be there.
it shouldn't be there?
No,
Okay.
no. That was Robert, I don't know why
Okay.
that's through my budget.
But is it going to be coming out of the ARPA funds?
No.
Okay. All righty, we'll remove that out of there. The Jim Wells County Precinct 4. And I believe the only other one we have is Jim Wells County Judge's Office for 3 computers for $4,226.
Entertain a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
So motion and a second. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
So that is it. Ms. Cindy will probably have the
Karen
updated
Canales?
numbers. Which one?
Karen Canali?
We just covered hers.
But
Ms. Canales.
Oh, you didn't vote on,
Ms. Canales.
I make a motion to approve.
I'll second. Okay.
Motion and a
Or
second.
Karen Canali.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
so that's all I have as far as presentations or departments requesting some funds.
I'd like,
Did we not have one?
I was we got shortchanged the gentleman from Orange Grove Museum. Did you have anything else, sir, on the museum?
I mean, it's there. We have 2 estimates that we're considering. We have a meeting next Wednesday. But we're just requesting your consideration for all or part of the cost. As I said, those 2 estimates were 38,000 and 144,000. So we'll be looking at those 2. I don't know what's reasonable to request, but all or some of that would be of help to us.
Everything would be considered. So is there anything else, Yolanda?
Unless y'all want to cover any additional questions on the draft that I presented for the application, if you'll notice that we did allocate 200,000. There was some discussion at the last budget meeting, ARPA budget meeting, whether or not to put a cap or a maximum amount that the nonprofits could apply for, or just leave it open funding and accept the proposals as they come in.
Yeah, at the end of the line, we're gonna have to, we're not gonna be able to fund all of it. Let's put that,
Yeah.
you know, but
and so-
whatever they request, we're gonna through the application that we're gonna have to review them and see where it lands.
So we'll go ahead and leave it open and then review them with the funding committee that will be made up of county staff and county auditor's office is what I'm looking at. I can do some fill in the dates if y'all are, I just need some direction from the commissioners as to how long should we leave the application process open? Because we're looking at an October 1 where we open it up and we can start accepting the applications, because that'll give me time to prepare the actual application and the budget sheet that I'm going to attach. But do you want it to run for 30 days? Do you want it to run it open until we run out of funds? Or
I have a concern that whether we're gonna have enough money in there to cover the whole county.
Yeah.
You know, you're talking a roof that's gonna cost $50,000, $40,000. You know, there's other people out there that are gonna require similar.
yeah, I know that we've got
I know we
the
had a-
Fremont,
That's not helping a
the
lot.
Fremont Museum and, I mean, the chamber, and I know that I'll be visiting with them next week about funding,
So I think we
going
need to-
over this.
I think we
So,
need to move more money into the nonprofit.
yes, sir.
Because we have $1.4 million left from the first chunk of money. So I know that we have $1.4 million left, so maybe we can put another,
Cindy,
The
what's
four?
what are we there? I just want to point out to you all that what you're seeing here on this last page was, we received the first check and the second one. So the total funds that we received from ARPA was $7,850,650,000. And we now have some new numbers because we've added some of the department's requests. Now, this doesn't take into account, this is strictly the 2 checks that we received. We have, if you'll notice in here, we put in the grant administration services as well. So this is just what the 2 checks would total. We've had some expenses from grant administration, and then we have the earnings, what we call it, interest earnings. So, but we're just showing you, this is what the total ARPA funding is, taking into account what we're, as the departments are requesting funds. But yes, you could certainly consider adding more monies in there, or let's see how we do with the 200,000. You can always come back and add more, because like I noticed what something the commissioners, if I'm reading this right, we're gonna look at what they're requesting. We're not gonna put a cap on it or anything. We're gonna look and see what they're requesting, and we may not be able to fund it all, but we will fund something depending. Is that how y'all are kind of looking at
Yes.
going?
I believe we should add a little bit more. Well, I don't think it's an item on the agenda, but we can bring it up.
oh, we can't do it today.
No, we couldn't do it right now. It's not an item.
No, I don't think we did what's that, our agenda? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is an option that you can come back. How does it read, Miss?
Well, it does say budget recommendations of the ARPA fund.
Mr. Guerra there?
We can do whatever we want.
So
I think-
actually,
I
it
think
is,
we should
it
hear
is
from
an
the-
action item. You
And
could
does
do
say
it.
budget recommendations for the appropriation.
Yes, but
Okay, I'd like to make
we
a
don't
motion
have to do, we
increase
can hear all the requests and then we can always add monies to it.
Yes,
I
sir.
don't think we need to do it today.
Okay.
We can.
Yeah, we can, but I don't think we need to do it today.
Well,
Or you can make a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to add $400,000 to the nonprofit line item.
I second the motion.
How much,
400,000,
go up to 400,000?
No.
add 400,000.
An additional.
Because I know we're gonna get, this is just the first
Yeah.
people that come in here and,
Okay, then
Once
you
the word
might,
gets out
later
there.
on, you might want to add another 400,000.
Well,
So
we'll
at some
cap it at
point,
that.
we can always add it.
Yes, sir.
You know, I
Because
don't
right
think-
now we have 200. We're adding
you wanna
4,
add an
so we'll have
addition-
600.
400,000.
additional 400.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I disagree, but there's a motion and a second, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 All opposed, same sign, you voted aye? Okay, ayes have it.
Okay, so the only other thing is, if you'll want to have, commissioners want to have a discussion regarding any funding for your individual precincts.
See, there's gonna be other, it's, so anyway, so be it.
Well, that's why, like the computer that they put in there accidentally, I'm not doing including it, because I don't think it's fair that we're gonna get our funding, but I'm asking for funding over here while
yeah,
I'm
that's
going under the
gonna be-
table. That's not right. So I'll include that out of my
Your
portion
budget,
of it,
yeah.
you know.
Because I think from the second half, we had said, or we make a recommendation that the monies be split between the 4 precincts, and we can take care of the issues that we each had in our precincts. Like, there were some people that needed stuff that are not here. We could help them if we wanted to, or we could follow your grant process.
Yeah, if you recall, you all were given a list of your funding priorities during those community participation meetings. So if you all want to address that, now's the time to discuss, I guess, Commissioner. If y'all want to look at that, that's.
I know each one of us have a lot of infrastructure work to do, roads and bridges.
Although it looks like a lot of money, that we have quite about 5 million left. And, it goes pretty fast. Yeah, go ahead.
Are we taking money out of the American Rescue money already and putting it in spending it already?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, because I know every commissioner had a wish list, but we have some people that actually need this money, and then that's something they wait for, like we got English acres. In Alice, these people are without water out there, and I don't know, I've been talking to the Gonzalez about this marketing, and I don't know if they're being given consideration. Because if we're gonna be spending the money like just in a wish list, we need to spend it on somebody that actually needs it.
And that's why we're dividing the money up between the precincts, so that way that precinct can take care of those people. We're taking care of Palito Blanco, Fremont, La Gloria, and Bembo, so each one will be able to help each other out.
Yeah, and so water and sewer is an eligible.
But in the words of
ARPA.
Mr. Garcia, we can't pay for every single thing, but it can help, it'll help.
And the other thing is, some of those, to take into consideration is you can use some of that as matching funds. And
Exactly.
we'll do a water sewer project. I know, working with the freshwater supply district, we could go after grants and match. Remember, we talked about leveraging some of the funds you allocate to your precincts. We can certainly look at other funding sources so that you can leverage that money that you allocate to your precinct.
And I know that because I've looked into it, that we do qualify to go out for a grant to cover the costs, but we don't have the CCN, is that what it is? Or the CNN?
CCN, the CNN.
CNN, okay, which is the certificate of necessity.
We can't get them until we actually acquire the property.
Exactly. Until we get the certificate of necessity, I cannot move forward to apply, because the Colonia grants, we would have been able to apply, but because we didn't have that certificate.
Because it's not our property.
That's true.
So, yeah, once the precincts decide what you want to allocate to your precincts, I will work specifically with each one of you to look at other funding sources based on what project priorities you want to pursue. And don't forget, I haven't done a presentation yet, but we do have the we're getting another 7 million for flooding, to address flooding. That's coming from GLO. There is no match to that. We're going to have those projects that we're going to be able to, that's money that the GLO is considering giving us. Hopefully we'll hear soon. You commissioners approved that at Monday's meeting. And then we have the Infrastructure Act that was passed earlier this year that's going to also be for streets and repairs and drainage. And
Water.
so we've got monies coming down. So definitely we want to look at how we can best leverage some of the projects that you all may have an interest in doing in your communities.
So we added what, 400,000 to
The nonprofit.
the nonprofit, this would be 600,000, and then,
It's my understanding.
what's the total right now?
6.
For what?
4 million.
Can you?
How much is
Can
remaining?
you share the screen?
From the first half, how much is remaining?
We're gonna put it up so you can see it.
The other?
There you go.
Garcia.
Both checks, have any of those funds been applied anywhere? For documentation of where the funds have already been?
Yes, we did.
They just,
We had a commissioners court and we had all the departments from the courthouse and a brush truck for the fire department. And so we funded,
I understand that, but is there documentation somewhere on
Yes.
the website that says where those ARPA funds were?
We have not put it up on the website, but once we
they just started.
complete, this is just our second budget
that's
meeting.
it right there. What's
this
on the
is what it
screen,
looks like.
That's what's been given away.
Now, what's being discussed is whether, how the commissioners, each one will divide what's left into their precincts. And then they will look at doing funding or projects in their specific precincts.
He's asking if some of this money has already been used.
Yes.
2
Yeah.
million.
Yes. it
Yeah,
just
it's up
started
there.
last
That's
week,
the
wasn't it?
budget that we've have passed so far. But specifically for the precincts,
Look at it.
yes, sir. Yes,
It's on the website.
we will put it on the website. But this is what has been funded so far.
From the first check of 3,919,000 so far, we've funded 2,923,434.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, that's the cost. And the fund balance is 4,927,000 is what we have left. That's the fund balance in the ARPA funds.
Okay. Is there anything else, Yolanda?
No, sir.
Okay, so we're gonna fund 600,000 for nonprofit. And the rest is,
We're going
the
to,
rest is to be divided by the precincts, I guess.
So at what point do we close this out?
We're gonna.
We can-
Well,
Go ahead.
that's
sir.
another thing, we have till 2025 to close anything else. In my thinking would be, we need to reserve $1 million for a rainy day fund.
which is what's left from the first
Huh?
chunk.
That's what?
That's what's left from the first half, $1 million.
Well, that's what's left from the first half, but I think it needs to be, we should reserve at least $1 million, $1.5 million, for a rainy day fund that we might have to use next year. You understand what I'm saying? But we can certainly spend it all. I just feel that, we should reserve, some of it for a rainy day. Like Mr. Flores might need something someday, or we have a disaster, we have a flood, we have a hurricane, we have another pandemic, so I think at some point we have to consider not spending it all.
Yes.
No, leave $1 million in the general fund that we're gonna have to use before 2025. We're gonna have to use it, don't get me wrong, but I think that
2026, we have to use it all, right?
Huh?
It all has to be used by 2026.
It has to be allocated by 2025.
Yeah, right.
And then we have to finish any projects that we
So-
put monies into by
Because
2026.
we can't foresee the future, so we can certainly give everything away for the exception of $1 million, $1.5 million. Because, one of the reasons we have this fund is because of the pandemic. And because, that we might have a hurricane, a disaster. So we have to think of those things, that the county might need it to help Orange Grove, to help Fremont, to help Humboldt. I don't think we need to exhaust all of the funds until give it until at least 2025, 2024, something like that.
And that
But,
is a very.
I'm just one voice, it has to be agreed upon all of us.
So you could certainly consider that and then put some amount in there for what we call the rainy day fund, and then distribute equally across the board the remaining, or you can do a percentage of the remaining funds. Or of all the funds, do a percentage, set aside some in the general fund. I'm just kind of giving you all ideas for you,
Right.
for the
I don't
commissioners
think
to
we need
think
to
of how
make a
you want to do.
decision today, but I think,
No, we
I'm
don't
just
have to.
thinking out loud that we have to consider the future. We cannot put ourselves in a situation where we might need these funds.
The only thing that I want to draw your attention to is you don't have to act on that today to decide, but at some point, if you start wanting to look at what projects you want to do in your precincts, we'll have to come back and do,
Right.
yeah, we'll have to either do another ARPA budget meeting or do it through a general, a regular meeting where you all decide. But, at some point, you're going to, start thinking about, oh, I need to do a project, or I already have a project in mind, so you're going to need to set aside that allocation. So just trying to get y'all to think.
So, Mr. Gonzalez, what's your idea about dividing the remainder?
I'm not real crazy about saving $1.5 million. I would save some, but not a whole lot. I think we're healthy enough within the county that I believe that if we have projects we need to do, this is what this money was for. We need to address the issues at hand now and move forward. I mean, we started with a 7.8, and the more we go, the further we go, the little chunk, you get a little chunk, you get a little chunk, and nobody's getting a bigger part. We got projects, we all have two major communities. I have Fremont, Bembolt, Palito Blanco, La Gloria, and we have to address all those. And we have to stretch our dollars as far as we can. Everybody was affected by it. I believe the money should be used right now.
Commissioner?
But that's one, like you said, this is my voice and this one man.
Go ahead.
I've got constituents already asking about the money, all the meetings that we've already had, when is it gonna happen? And the fire department, everybody's wondering when.
Okay, I'm okay with whatever y'all want to do, Commissioner.
Initially, we had made a recommendation that the first check we would give the wish list and for all the departments or the public and nonprofit. And the second half, we would split it by the 4 precincts. There's $1 million left still from the first funding. Some of that could be left. We don't have to exhaust it all. I know that the appraisal district doesn't fall under the nonprofit, and I would like to see us support some of their system too. So that'll have to come out of that money. So, but yes, the other half, we do have projects that are waiting, and we do have issues that we need to take care of. And we need to move forward with that.
Well, I'm okay with whatever y'all want to do. I just feel that maybe I'm being too conservative. But I do believe that there's a GLO grant. There's also an infrastructure grant. If we keep $1 million from this and see how we can combine it with those grants to take us down the road a little further. If we exhaust it all and then the infrastructure is not enough, we at least have a little resource here to finish her roads, Commissioner's roads.
I think the question would be not whether we do it or we don't do it. I think the question is, how much do we put in? I think that's probably where everybody wants to save some, but how much?
Yeah, well,
I don't really think 1.5 is.
I just put a number out there, $1 million, but because I see a lot of expenditure. Our county roads need a lot of them, a lot of work. There's no questions. And my idea is that at some point with the infrastructure monies, we might be able to address some of it. And if we save some from the ARPA, would even be more helpful, you know, so I'm just saying that we don't have to exhaust it all. You know, I think we do need to save some of it for a rainy day. I really believe that. But I'm, like I say, I'm just one voice. Maybe I'm too conservative, but I've always been that way. But we don't have to make a decision today, but we can certainly think about it. And but Ms. Gonzalez, I think we're all in agreement that we're gonna split it in four ways, I guess. That's,
The second half, yes.
yeah, the second half, okay.
So I'm gonna make a recommendation that the 3.931577 be split by the 4 precincts.
And the remainder from the other one,
The other remainder, we can leave it in the general fund for now. But if there's other requests, well, I know we have another request that's not a nonprofit organization that you can look at a application or whatever process that you have created, and we can decide how much money we want to give to the appraisal district.
Commissioner Gonzalez.
So that leaves us how much, Cindy? And that'd be saving, that would put in away how much?
$1 million. Well, right now there's $1 million left in there. But we're not saying we're gonna save it all. We still have. Because there's 4,927,000. If you take the 3,931,000, there's just a little bit less than $1 million left.
Sure. We're gonna put it back
Okay.
up on the screen.
You see, because the only thing that worries me when that million saved up there, if it's divided between four get equally divided. If the million stays there, who's gonna get it? It's gonna be spread out where?
Well, you know, there's always hidden
It'll
expenses.
still have to come to
Yeah,
us
yeah,
to approve.
there's always hidden expenses that the county has to fund. I mean, the state always, they always send us unfunded mandates. They tell you, you have to do this, and this, and they don't send any monies. See,
Well,
so,
but this money is not for unfunded mandates. This is
well,
projects.
it's
that
part
we
of,
have.
it's part of the county, it's county monies. But what I'm saying is, we can exhaust our reserves real fast also. We have a healthy reserve, there's no doubt, but we can also, anyway, just divide it however you all feel that we need to do it, and that's basically all I can tell you.
I'm all for dividing, maybe instead of the million, what if we did 500,000?
I was thinking 8.
What do you want to do?
She's saying 500,000, I was thinking more like 8, so. We'd be,
From the other million, or what?
Yes.
And adding the difference to our fund.
I would say we leave $800,000 in there. What do you think, Mr. Garcia?
I think we need to save something, it might be,
800,000?
Oh, 800. I thought you said 100. I'm like, how
No,
much?
no, no, 800,000.
I'm like, what?
so, okay, so I hear that we want to split the the remaining of the monies,
And leave 800.
4 ways, and leave 500,000.
800,000.
800 in reserves. Okay, that's fair. I think,
Think everybody will be on the same page with that. Okay, I'll make a motion to You made a motion? I'll second it.
You made a motion to, go ahead and repeat your motion.
I made a motion to split in four, and we'll leave 800,000 for the,
Rainy day fund?
yes.
Sir? I'm having a little trouble hearing, I don't know.
Yes, she made a motion to leave $800,000 in the rainy day fund. And we'll
Okay,
split the rest of them 4 ways.
Okay,
Equal across the board?
okay, and every commissioner will decide how to spend it, because everybody, all the commissioners have recommendations from their precinct, and so I
We
think
had
that,
meetings and we had people attend.
so that's fair. And then, and also we do need to use some of it ourselves also.
The word is invest. There's a lot of people here.
Yes. So as you are now that you've allocated some funds into your precincts, as you think of projects, definitely we can meet and look at what other funding sources are available. We can start getting cost estimates once y'all are ready to start looking at what projects you want to do. Again, we have to follow federal procurement policies, our own county policies, so let's make sure that, we meet to discuss.
I see, what precinct are y'all from?
Precinct 3?
Oh,
Make sure that
Okay.
I don't want to be out of order here, but split up the funds, does the precinct three have more needs than precinct one? Does she need more funding? Is that funding going to be fluid enough to where she can access it? Precinct three, because as Commissioner Garcia pointed out, it's for the county.
Right.
All of the county, not just those persons.
well, no, we split it in four. So it'll cover all 4 counties.
Let me just say that, I'm employed on the city county officer. I went ahead and set up a fund specifically for our, and I set up general ledger accounts, which individual will the bridge. First, I will look at making sure that we spend the right general ledger account that they go and have a system that's checking sure it's all eligible for payment. And we're also gonna be more transparent, that is gonna be, so I have it separated, like I'll say, once he has stuff, he's gonna see how it's being spent, everything's gonna be under that fund. And not in different RMDs, it's all gonna be together, and we'll be able to just look at it, we're probably gonna be audited, I wanna make sure that we have everything in line, along with Ms. Moran, to make sure that the audit will be a problem. The motions, we're separating the money in four different precincts, Noe. It can be in whatever you're saying, but it's gonna be, a quarter of it's gonna be precinct 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, okay. It's not gonna be, it's gotta be, that's what the motion is, to divide it equally. I have one for each. Right, okay, good. You all have your 800,000? Okay, and the 800,000 is a reserve
The reserve.
for the ARPA. We're gonna use it for ARPA,
Still
don't
under
get me
ARPA.
wrong. We're gonna use it for ARPA. I just feel that we don't have to make a decision today. Maybe 6 months down the road, somebody will need it, so, and the money's gonna be there. That's all I'm saying, we don't have to make a decision on all of it today, that's. So anyway, there's a motion and a second. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
All right.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Okay, motion passes. Okay, so there's gonna be 800,000 in reserves. Okay. Okay, anything else, Yolanda?
No, sir, I think that completes it, unless you all have any questions of me or anyone that's here that made a presentation. If y'all have any additional questions, or from Mr. Gomez, our county auditor.
Well, we already exhausted the money, so we don't.
Well, I'm sure your constituents appreciate what y'all are doing, sir.
Right.
Y'all are doing a really good job
Yes.
of being very good stewards
Yeah.
of the taxpayers' money.
You know-
But at the same time, you're looking at funding some projects that you heard from your constituents and you all are looking at trying to address, I mean, there's not enough money to go around, but that's why, you know, we talked about looking at other funding sources where we can leverage those dollars. Stretch them further.
Those 800,000 might be, monies that we can leverage, I think, you know, for the better good, right?
Yes, sir.
Anyway,
So I will, Cindy has been updating the spreadsheet as we were going along, allocating some of these funds. And I will send each one of y'all an updated one. We will put it on the county's website. Again, I will come back and probably at a commissioners court meeting with the actual application for the nonprofits and get some commitment dates from you all, but you know, I think, when's our next commissioners? September 12th, we'll be ready to adopt that application. I'll present it to you all and be ready. We can address some of the dates that you want to. So be thinking about that. If you want to leave it just open-ended as they're coming in and things like that.
okay. Anything else?
I make a motion to adjourn.
There's a motion,
A second.
and a second, all in favor, indicate by saying aye.
All right.
All opposed, same sign, meeting's adjourned.